Hello, beloved, peace and blessings. I'm Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer. Today I'm going to be sharing two of my newest decks with you, the Okana Oracle and the Akamara Tarot. I pre-ordered these like a couple months ago and they came right on my birthday. So it was a beautiful, beautiful gift and well worth the wait. These cards are so beautifully made and just a beautiful addition to my collection. I haven't really been buying a lot of decks lately, mainly because I have a wide variety of themes of artwork. And most of the decks that come out, I have something similar. So very few decks have like really been like, ooh, I must have. I did want though, the Sawyer's Path Tarot, so I did get that deck. So anywho, I'm very proud of myself too for like slowing up on purchasing decks. So this oracle came with this beautiful altar cloth, which I think is super pretty, and I cannot wait to have a little bit more space so that I can set up another altar where I can put certain things that I want to create on this particular altar. It's going to be very personal and very beautiful. But anyway, so I just wanted to show that. I love tarot cloths. I never really used them before, and then I don't know, I just started gravitating towards them. So this is the guidebook. I love that everything is like black and gold foil. I think the creator came out with a newer version of the Akamara. I hope I'm saying that correctly. That is white with purple, which I thought was really beautiful, but I am all here for this beautiful black and gold. So this is the back of the deck. I love the cowrie shells. The edges have, I wouldn't say, well, they're, I guess, gilded. They have that kind of matte, which I like this because this is not going to rub off like some of the other more like flakier type of gilding that's used. And I don't know how many cards are in this deck. I did do like a birthday reading with this. So inside the guidebook, the creator gives some acknowledgments and shares her intentions for the deck. The cards are broken up into suits by the elements. So there's water, earth, air, fire, and spirit, which I thought was really beautiful. The card that I pulled for this year for myself was iron. And I love that it looks like, let me see if I can get it. There's like a rhino there that I can see. Like there's the horn, there's the eye. And iron, it says dogs have 4 legs but only walk one path. And iron is a very rigid structure. So one of the things that I thought was like how, you know, needing to be flexible and also needing to be focused, especially with the dogs have 4 legs, but they walk only one path. They're not walking off in 4 different directions. So I thought that was really beautiful because I did have to hone in my focus, especially within business, because there were so many different directions that I was getting pulled into and really wanting to serve everyone and, you know, trying to make everybody happy. And it's like going back to, what do I want? What path do I want to walk? And so once I got back in alignment and got back in clear with my path, which is spiritual love, which is living abundantly ever after, that's where I want to be. And so that's what I'm doing. So the thing about these cards, like I use a lot of oils and butters. When they have this matte finish, you can see on the edges, they'll like absorb some of the oil. But it's all good. It's just giving them a little love. I really love this. They're very smooth and they have that matte. It's a soft matte and it's very pretty. So that was my card that I pulled. So I'll give you a quick peek at some of the other cards. Here we have Honesty. They're not in order because this deck has been shuffled. We've got Harmony, Igun, I like that they're a little bit difficult to see on camera. And then we have Flare. It's like a tiger there. Vex. You can probably hear my daughter. She's out in the hallway playing. She's not too happy with me because I told her she couldn't have candy. Reconcile. We have Covet. This is Possess. Lust. Hearth. Knowing. Sorrow. Mercurial. Energy. We have Deceit. Fawning. Famine. Toil. I love hummingbirds. This is so beautiful. Nurture. Plenty. Confide. I like how simple these cards are, but just the simplicity and the elegance, it contains so much information just by looking at these simple drawings. I have another deck. It's the Line Strider Tarot, or no, Lifeline Tarot. And it's just like these sketches or like the outline of the card. And I like it because it stimulates automatic writing for me like super easily. Very much a deck that I can go to if I want to channel, especially. We have Spirited, which looks like a bat. Bats have been very prevalent for me lately, like really getting my attention. And then we have Grit. That almost looks like a kitty cat. And then we have the Essay. That is so beautiful. I am so pleased with this Oracle deck. It is absolutely beautiful. I love that there are more decks like this and that. So one of the things that I do is I do try to cultivate my collection with decks like this that are ancestral, that weave in elements of my culture. I really love that. And I like that the intention of this deck says that there needed to be a deck that upheld and examined core traits that have been contributing to the demise of peace within our lives, the traits of the shadow self that each of us needs to work on and overcome if we are to walk in our wholeness without fear. That is powerful. And I love too how she mentions that this deck is to be used in times of grief, confusion, anger, or every blue moon when you feel that you aren't progressing, to really uncover what's holding you back. A lot of times we think that we cannot use our cards in those intensely emotional moments. And I'm glad that I did not adhere to that, because that's what they're for. It's like when you pick up your Bible because you're stressed or you need some inspiration or you're feeling upset and you're looking for something to comfort you. You can go to your cards for that inspiration, for that introspection, for the darkness. And that's how I learned tarot. Was when I was dealing with my darkness. I was going through depression. I just got out of an abusive relationship and everything was falling apart. I felt like I could not think straight. I didn't really know who I was anymore. There was just a lot going on and I was very much disconnected from myself. So I used tarot, and the two cards that came up for me the most during that time were the Death card and the Tower. And that's why, like, to me, when I see death, it never correlated with an actual physical death. Because I got that card all the time. And at first I was like, oh my God, am I going to die? Like, am I dying? I'm going to die. I was like, wait, no, like, let's look into like what death actually is. And that's how I learned and really integrated the meaning of death as being it's a metaphysical dying, it's a rebirth, it's a shedding of old habits, of old layers of the self, of letting go so that something new can be reborn. And if we look at the seasons, right, we're going through the deathing process as we enter into fall, and we go into winter when the ground is hard and barren and still. But even in that period, like, it's necessary. And so I love that this isn't one of those, everything is all good decks, and, that she really was like, come to this deck in your time of need, because a lot of times, we're taught like not to do readings when we're upset or angry or this or that. Now, I do agree with that. Like, if I am upset or angry, I'm not going to do a reading for someone else. I'm not going to, but I will do a reading into what I've got going on so I can understand it, so I can unpack it and things like that. So I think that just explaining that more makes sense, so that, people are aware, like, oh, I can't do a reading because I'm feeling sad today or because I'm feeling bad. Like, no, you can absolutely do a reading and do a reading around that so that you can get support, guidance, clarity, insight, and all of those beautiful things. Went off on a tangent, but that's okay. This is the Akamara Tarot. The box itself is beautiful. I love the very minimalistic look. It says the world was created by one. And actually, that card, the Akamara card, is the one that I pulled for my birthday. So in the guidebook, again, it goes into some acknowledgments, the intentions, and then there's like the table of contents. So the deck is broken up into the kingdom and villages, and the kingdom is going to be the majors. The card names are different. Like, the Fool is called Origin in this deck. There's like Stoicism, Elder. So the majors are renamed, and they're very beautifully named. My deck is all shuffled up, so I won't even try to like do a full flip through. The World is the Akamara card. And look how beautiful. Let me see if I can find it. Let me find it, because that is definitely, it should be right on top. Oh, it's not. I must have shuffled it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Look how beautiful this card is. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So again, like, they're very simplistic images. This could also kind of be considered, I guess, a pip deck. This is the Six of Wands. And this is the Five of, I want to say Cups, but I believe the suits are different. Actually, yeah, I know they are. So let's look at the language of the deck. Calabash. So they use calabash for the cups. Here we go. So we have the calabash, we have the cutlass, and there is the cowrie and the cane are the suits in this deck. The kingdom is going to be the court cards. The villages are the suits. So we have Baba, which would be the king. Iya, which is going to be the queen mother. Onija, which is going to be the warrior or the knight. And the Omo, which is the page or the child. I love this deck. I love it. So the villages, again, calabash would represent cups or water. Cane would represent wands or fire. The cutlass would represent swords or air. And the cowrie would represent pinnacles or earth. This deck is, it's so beautiful. I'll show you a few more of the cards. This is the Kadara, card 10, which I believe would be, yeah, that would be the world. So beautiful. Upheaval. I just talked about the Tower. I'm trying to find some. Okay, so there's the Two of Cowrie, the Omokane, that would be likened to the Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups, the Ia Cowrie, beautiful. The Assay, and Mommy, which is going to be the Empress. These, I love this minimalistic, the dark background, and just the, like, this deck is so beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I am doing a tarot study, and we were using pip decks with Abundant Life Tarot in her group. And I was initially going to use the, I think it's called the Crystal Tarot, but because this is also like a pip deck, because it doesn't show like the scene, the depiction of the card, I might switch it up and use this deck instead, and that would give me time to really work with it and get to know it. I am super grateful because I'm in a season where, like I said, I'm not really buying a lot of decks. I have so many that I can work with, and that's what I really want to do. I want to maximize my collection, and I actually went through and did something I did not know that I was going to do, but I started cultivating a list of all of my decks. Not all of them are listed because the ones that I purchased like in the store or something like that, or ones that I don't have in storage or could not find through like documentation or receipts, are not listed there. But I started going through because one of my goals, I want to move out of the country. And so it'll be very important to like downsize. So I was like, okay, which decks are, I think I did like must-haves, like these are like absolute cornerstones of my collection. I did like which ones would be nice to keep, which ones were I like and which ones would I like actually be okay with releasing. And I'm just very proud that I'm even in a space where it's like, okay, like I'd be okay with letting these decks go. It wasn't a huge list of them, and I'm not in a space where I'm ready to sell any of my collection. But once I have everything back together again, then I will potentially look at like selling some of my decks, because I have so many, and there's no way that I can really use all of them. And after doing so many like collections and I kind of stopped doing deck reviews because I was like, I don't know, it was like I wasn't getting a chance to really use the deck or going through my full deck connection process. I was like, let me step back and reassess my practice, my collection, all of my my tarot and my cards, and how I'm approaching it so that it's authentic to me and that it feels good. So that's what I have taken the time out to do this year. And like I said, I think I've got several other decks that I'm just waiting to receive. But as far as buying anything new, I feel very complete with my collection. And yeah, another deck, I don't know, did I do a video? I got the, I think it's called the Numinous. I can't see the name. I'm trying to make sure that that's the correct, it is the Numinous Tarot and the Threadbound Oracle. I really enjoy working with those. They pair together very well, just like these these go together so well. So I really love these decks, along with like the Hoodoo Tarot and Grandma Baby Apothecary Lenormand. Like I love having these decks. They are so rich and vibrant, and they truly speak to my soul, and they're so special to me. I cannot wait to like sit down and really learn the language of this deck and feel into its energy and how it wants to work with me. So I just wanted to share it with you. It's very beautiful and super great addition to my tarot collection. All right, thank you so much for watching. You can always book a reading or healing session with me at spirituallovesanctuary.com to learn more about what I do or to book your session. And I will see you again soon. Peace.